Hello and welcome to the Daily Draft, where we take magic one draft at a time. My name is Morgan, and this is a Shadows over Innistrad Swiss draft. Confession time. I went to my weekly Shadows over Innistrad draft yesterday and went 0-2 drop. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on Eternal Masters and other fun flashback formats, and not a lot of time keeping up with what the quote-unquote actual format. So we're going to go in and we're going to not put our blinders on and draft a weird rug deck and see how it goes. I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, we finally fired. Here we've got a couple of good uncommons. We've got Inner Struggle and New Heath Chaplain. Both of those are cards I like better than Forgotten Creation, particularly because blue is probably one of my least favorite colors in this format. There's also Murderous Compulsion, Stitch Mangler, Tormenting Voice, and Embry Wolf. I'm pretty happy taking the New Heath Chaplain. There's a lot of value to be had with this card, and so yeah, I'm pretty happy first picking it. I think that's the basis for a pretty solid deck. Obviously, we might not end up playing it. We could end up splashing it. Something. New Heath Chaplain is just very good though. It's pretty sweet in green-white, where you play things like Rabid Bite, for example. Here we've got, like, I guess, Crow and Ulrich's Kindred, along with Sanguinary Mage and Watcher of the Web. But I'm just going to go ahead and take a Ravenous Bloodseeker. I think this card being a free discard outlet is just really, really good. And, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Sanguinary Mage is probably second out of this pack, though, awkwardly. So, I don't know. Well, these two cards don't generally go in the same sort of focused deck. However, red-white aggro, if we get like a Nahiri's Machinations, is pretty good. Otherwise, both of these cards are very good in their individual archetypes. So we might end up playing one or the other. We'll see. Pretty happy taking the Devil's Playground here. There's a Rabid Bite as well, but this card is incredibly good. So I'm pretty happy with it. There's a Reduced Ashes and a Rabid Bite are the next best cards in the pack. Militant Inquisitor and Confront the Unknown are both solid too as a Stormrider Spirit, but Devil's Playground easily the strong pick. If we get like Sacrifice Outlets, they're sweet. But this card is a very good finisher because your opponents can't play cards without, or can't block the Devils without taking damage, which is pretty cool. So we've got Olivia's Bloodsworn. It's vampire. So it's kind of on color with the Ravenous Bloodseeker. It doesn't go well with the Near Heath Chaplain. There's also a Malevolent Whispers, which is a Madness card, so it synergizes pretty well with Ravenous Bloodseeker. Olivia's Bloodsworn can get in a lot of damage, especially if you have a lot of vampires in your deck. Malevolent Whispers still keeps us open to play Near Heath Chaplain. I'm still pretty interested in red, I think, and if I manage to play white, I'm very happy. Haven't gotten a lot of white cards. I think I just take the Deadweight. Deadweight is a solid removal spell. It's very cheap, which is also super nice. Embry Wolf is another solid card, along with Macabre Waltz and Ghoulsteed. Ghoulsteed is worth mentioning, but we're just going to go ahead and take Deadweight here. I tend to err on the side of efficient removal between that and like finishers like Ghoulsteed and small creatures. So Senseless Rage and Howlpack Wolf are both good in the red aggro decks. I'm just going to take another Ravenous Bloodseeker though. Card is pretty good, as I've been saying, and definitely worth the pickup. I'm very excited about it. So here we've got Murderous Compulsion, Morkrot Necropod, Farbuck Revenant, and Devilthorn Fox. And I think I'm just going to take a Murderous Compulsion here. It's nice to have Madness cards with the Ravenous Bloodseekers, and I think it's just so far above better than Devilthorn Fox. We haven't gotten a lot of good white cards since we took this Nearheath Chaplain, too, so I'm pretty happy about taking something that is not white. Gibbering Fiend is cool. It's a 2/1 for 2, which is, you know, something that we want in this deck. And dealing 1 damage to each opponent could add up, especially since we have 2 discard outlets, where we can potentially discard extra lands. We've got Malevolent Whispers and Deadweight. So we've got 2 cards that, well, we've got a bunch of cards that put themselves in their graveyards too. Well, there's another Murderous Compulsion, or Tormenting Voice. There's also a Stromkirk Mentor. This is kind of tough. I think I take a second Murderous Compulsion because I have 2 Ravenous Bloodseekers. Pretty happy with the Sanguinary Mage here, although Sanatorium Skeleton is pretty cool with all the discard outlets. We're gonna take that. Sanguinary Mage is, again, like, secondary great 2-drop in the aggro decks, so pretty happy with it. I guess I'll take the Alms of the Vein. We're probably not playing it, but if our deck is aggressive enough, like if we get a zillion of these guys, we might want to. Alright, so we did not wheel the Bloodsworn, which is kind of unfortunate. We did wheel the Ghoulsteed, and I think I wanted over the Macabre Waltz, just because having a finisher like this that's pretty resilient is super nice. Got a nice one here. Avacyn's Judgment, especially with a couple of discard outlets already. I'm not sure about this Nearheath Chaplain. Is great. Ghoulclatter's Accomplice and Crow of Dark Tidings are both fine. Grotesque Mutation can really get an opponent, which is awesome. So we're going to take the Avacyn's Judgment. There's another Murderous Compulsion. There's a Stromkirk Mentor. Ember Eye Wolf. There's also a Murderer's Axe, actually. Looking at my Madness cards, that actually might be a reasonable pick. Yeah, I kind of like taking the Murderer's Axe, actually. I think that's cool. It's a nice discard outlet, stuff like that. Here, I'm definitely taking the Olivia's Bloodsworn. Hopefully wheeling one of these 2 cards, maybe this one. But having another 2-drop is just fine. Alright, so we've got a Diregraph Colossus, which at this moment is probably going to be a 2/2 for 3. There's also another Gibbering Fiend, a Tormenting Voice. I'll take it. I'll take another 2-drop. Who am I to say no to a 2-drop? Yeah, I'll take a Deadweight. That's fine. Hulking Devil might not be terrible in the stack. One thing that I really want that I haven't seen is a Stensia Masquerade, and the fact that we haven't seen a second Oblivia's Bloodsworn might indicate that we have another person at the table who's drafting that as well. Blood Mad Vampire, of course. It's a pretty good one. I do, at this point, think that Stromkirk Mentor is probably a reasonable pickup. Here's an actual decision. We've got an Insolent Neonate or another Blood Mad Vampire. There's also a True Fate Sensor here. I think I just want another Blood Mad Vampire. I think that with as many Deadweights as I have, and a Murderer's Axe and stuff, we should be able to force through damage pretty easily. I'm gonna take out this Nearheath Chaplain now. Also, Blood Mad Vampire is very good if we get a Stensia Masquerade. So is Insolent Neonate, I suppose. Menace means that it'll be getting in for a couple of damage before our opponent gets around to blocking it, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with this deck so far. It's kind of a fun deck. Sure, I'll take another one. I might have been more inclined to take one of the Insolent Neonates over 3 Blood Mad Vampires, but one thing that I do want now that I've got a bunch of just really aggressively costed, aggressively costed creatures that have 1 toughness is Senseless Rage. Although having more creatures would not be bad either. Here I'm actually gonna go take a Grotesque mutation over the Ghoulcaller's Accomplice. Reason being is because I've got a couple of Delirium cards, but I don't have any instants yet. I think I just take a Stormkirk Mentor here. I have 2 Murderous Compulsions. I don't feel the need for a 3rd one yet. I've got 2 Murderous Compulsions, 2 Deadweights. Yeah. Alright, I'm fine with the 2nd Mentor. I still am okay taking the 1st Mentor over a Murderous Compulsion, because the Stormkirk Mentor effect is pretty decent when all but 2 of my early plays are vampires. That's gonna go on the sideboard. Happy with the Merciless Resolve. I'm not gonna play Brain in the Jar, but I might play Merciless Resolve. Is this a kind of deck where our opponent would want to side in Chaplain's Blessing? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that one. So there's a Howlpack Wolf, which is an aggressive creature. There's a Throttle. There's an Angelic Purge if we were still on the Splash plan, which I don't think we are. I think it's Howlpack Wolf or Throttle. We have 12 creatures. Yeah, I'll pretty happily take a Howlpack Wolf here. That card's got a nice aggressive slant as well. Oh man, this card is very good. I could take a Macabre Waltz, I suppose. Yeah, that's fine. Not happy about it. It's not a card you want to like pick, especially like when the white's been so good, but we'll be fine. I could splash New Chaplain. I don't think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna take a Sanguinary Mage. That's another creature, which is pretty great. I'm not sure I'm playing Merciless Resolve. Pretty sure I'm playing Grotesque Mutation. Especially since it's currently the only instant in our deck. Yeah. Apart from Merciless Resolve, potentially. Ooh. I do like me a Spiteful Motives. There's also an Uncaged Fury in this pack. Uncaged Fury might be better. I think Spiteful Motives is good though. Especially, we don't have a Stensia Masquerade yet, which is kind of unfortunate. But Spiteful Motives is good with with a lot of high toughness, low power, or high power, low toughness creatures. That's what I meant to say. Wow. 4th pick, Fire Temper? Sure. Oh, Moto, please don't do this to me. Okay, cool. This is a pretty good one. There's also a True Fate Sensor, which I'd be somewhat interested in taking. Otherwise, there's also an instant, which adds to Delirium, and I think Gibbering Fiend is, like, providing the reach we need is super good. So, what do I cut? Probably Ghoulsteed? We did it! There's also a Rush of Adrenaline here, which I'd be very happy to take as well. But Stensia Masquerade is the nut with this deck in particular. I'm not sure how many Murderous Compulsions I want to play in this deck, actually. Like, the rest of the deck is pretty finely tuned. We're probably cutting this Wolf. I'll be real. Now that I've got, like, Stensia Masquerade for my Blood Mad Vampires. I'm pretty happy with the Twins of Mara State. That's a 3-drop in our deck if I've ever seen one. There's Reduced to Ashes. There's also a Deadweight. Wow, there's a lot of Deadweights going around. Maybe cut these. Maybe one of these. maybe one of these as well. Yeah, I like the look of this deck a lot. I'm still going to play 17 lands, even though it is a pretty aggressive deck, because some of our cards are quite expensive without being madness. So I still want to play, like, hit my land drops, but yeah, Stensia Masquerade just made my day. We have maybe like one fewer discard outlet than I'd want. I'd like to have another one just to, but like the discard outlet I'd want is like Call the Bloodline or Mad Prophet. So I feel like that's asking for a lot. So I think we're good. I'm okay with not having the Insulin Neonate, but I'm very happy that we have this Murderer's Axe, by the way. Okie dokie. I want to play Rush of Adrenaline in this deck, and I think I want to play it over Grotesque Mutation. This seems pretty good in the Ravenous Bloodseeker, Sanguinary Mage, Murderer's Axe by Full Motives deck. Yeah, alright. Well, we'll add some basics. I want to play 10-7, maybe? Like, Olivia's Bloodsworn on turn 2 is good, but I've got a couple double red cards. Yeah, I think 10-7 is a good cut. Alright, cool. I'll see you guys in round 1.